Hello there and welcome. My name's Suzanne from Nonstop Papercrafts. Thank you for joining me again on my channel. Okay, so today we're back for another altered paperclip tutorial. I recently took part in an altered paperclip swap, and one of the paperclips that I did was quite interactive and added some extra journaling space, and I've had a couple of people asking me how it was made. So I thought I'd pop on camera and show you the tutorial. So first of all, let me show you what the paperclip looked like. So it's this tall one here. So as you can see, it is a paperclip. It is paperclipped onto the page, but it does add some journaling space. Now I know I've backed it currently on a plain page, but if you've got quite a busy journal, then it's just a nice extra space for writing. So what we have at the side, at the back here, is a small pocket. So I've just put some folded tea-stained paper in the back, but there is a like a hidden pocket at the back there. And then when you open it up, you have even more journaling space. So I've just put a few little scrappy pieces of paper in there, and then this one which kind of folds out, so you've got the front and the back to kind of journal on. I've done some light decoration on this, obviously, because this is just an ideas book for me, so this isn't a journal that I kind of use. It's just for me to kind of put all my ideas in. So you can obviously embellish this however you like. You can add a longer piece of paper, which I think I did in the swap. It was a longer piece of paper. I did stamping and all sorts of things on there. So yeah, you can really decorate these up so that they match the theme of your journal as well. But yeah, this is the one that I'm going to show you how to make. Okay, so to make this little paperclip, all you need to do is grab some 6x6 papers. Obviously you can play around with the size, it depends on the size of the journal that you have, but I was using 6x6 papers because I've got quite a few, so I was just trying to use some of them up. Scoreboard is obviously optional, that's just to obviously score my lines for my folds. A stapler, obviously paper clips. I've got some tea dyed paper for obviously my extra journaling places. I've got a circle punch just to do a little notch in the back pocket, but that, again, that's optional. And then if you obviously wanted to decorate your corners, you can as well. So I'm just going to grab the first piece of 6x6, and then on the scoreboard, if you choose to use one, all you need to do is score at 1 3/4. Which one I'm just holding right? Yeah, 1 3/4. And then at 3.5. Okay, and then this one is actually double-sided, so if you have double-sided paper, obviously just decide what you want on the outside, and then what you want on the inside. If obviously it's plain, then the decision's already made. And then all you do is, where you've got what's now 2.5 inches, you're going to fold along that score line. And then you're going to fold backwards where you did your original score line, making sure it lines up with that edge, because this is now going to become the pocket and the place where the paperclip is glued in. So that goes in there like that. Okay, so you kind of end up with a Z shape with a longer, with a longer piece at the bottom. Okay, right, so now you can put your paperclip on. So I tend to have the shorter part tucked in, and the longer part is the bit that's going to go onto the page, and that just goes roughly in the centre of the top part of your Z. Okay, like that. And then all I did is I measured 2 inches down, so that gives me a nice 4-inch pocket. And then this is the part that we're going to glue, and then obviously a bead down here, and then this will be our pocket at the back. So like I said, it's optional if you want to put a thumb notch in. So first of all, I'm just going to measure 2 inches down. Just so I know roughly where I'm going to with my glue. So I don't want to go past that point. And then, like I said, a bead of glue at the bottom, and that's going to be the pocket. So I am going to put a little notch in there. Like I said, this is optional. You absolutely do not have to. I just think it makes it easier to grab the piece of paper. Okay, So I'm using Beacon 3-in-1, but I'm also going to be using a high tack glue just for that bead at the bottom, because the beacon I think doesn't come out thin enough. I'm going to use the high tack at the bottom just for that nice thin bead of glue, and then at the top I'll use the beacon because it's nice and strong around the paper clip. So like I said, just don't go past that line, otherwise you're going to end up for a very small pocket. But then that's up to you. If you only want a small pocket at the back, then that's absolutely fine, then go down further. But yeah, okay, and then you literally just glue those two pieces together. Make sure you give a little bit of a rub in between where the paper clip is, because you want to make sure that that's all glued and secure. And at the bottom, and then that gives you your pocket at the back. So while that's drying, we can work on the inside. So all I did, let's get rid of those, is with my piece of tea stained paper, I literally just kind of measured without using a ruler, if that makes sense. So I obviously don't want my paper going right up against that fold, because obviously it's then going to be very difficult to close. So you do want a little bit of a gap, so you do need to bear that in mind. What's the best way to do this? Right, and then I just fold it over like that, made a little crease, and then just went straight with that, and then I went the other way, did the same thing, just tried to line it up. And how many times you fold this now, do this accordion fold, is however many pages you would like. So I think I did 4 last time, so I'm going to do 4 this time. So 1, 2, 3, one more fold. That's it. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is just trim this piece off, and then I'm going to cut down this side, just so obviously I've got loose pieces. So I'm going to use a trimmer for that, just because I am no good cutting straight with scissors. Let's do it this way, I'm left-handed. Okay, so I literally just put it in so it's a little bit over, just so I can kind of nick that edge. And it will separate my pages, hopefully, if I've caught them all, which I have. Then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Oh, actually, that might make it easier. Open them out, and then go down the middle. Okay, so I've now got my 4 pieces of paper, and then all I'm going to do is just line them up where I want them, and then fold up at the bottom, and then I'm just going to trim those bits off. I'm going to tear that because I don't mind a torn edge at the bottom. I think it adds a little bit of character. And then I just line up the top, pop in a staple, and then that is going to get glued up here. Okay, so again I'm going to use my beacon, just because it's going round metal, so I want to make sure that it's obviously stuck in place and isn't going to go anywhere. You can of course glue this whole back page down if you want to, but I think this is quite light, so you might actually be able to journal on this. So I am going to keep it so people can lift up and then decide whether they're going to write on the bottom as well. Okay, And then I did have a little pull out piece here. Again, that's optional, you don't have to if you think that's going to add too much bulk. So with my sort of like leftover piece, again, obviously I don't want it going all the way to the fold, so you just come in a little bit and you do exactly the same. So we're just going to go backwards and forwards with that accordion. And then once you've done one, you can kind of do the rest. You're just lining it up then. Okay, and then back. And then where we've got that little bit, that's fine. You can tear it off if you like, but I quite like it as almost a little tab to kind of pull it all out. So that's entirely up to you. So it would go that way, wouldn't it? So I'm going to stick it down so that it comes out that way, and then you can obviously flip it that way as well. I guess you could have it that way, couldn't you? So you can pull it that way and then also have that way. Yep, up to you, whichever way I think you feel. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick it that way. But you decide which way around you want it, whichever way you think is natural for you to pull. I don't know if I'm being awkward because I'm left-handed. So I want that piece that way. And then again, just some glue. You can use glue stick for this. I think I did with my previous one. But yeah, I've got high tack glue right here, so that's why I'm using that now. There we go, and then just stick that down. Now, because I've got double-sided paper, obviously I have sort of patterns and decorations here, but obviously you can embellish further. I quite like to use washi tape, and especially because obviously I've got that paper clip up the top there. If the paper clips don't bother you, that's fine, you don't have to cover them. But since I've got maps, I've also got little postcards here, so I'm going to use the postcards to cover the top piece there. I think I just need to trim off a little bit. Let's have a look. Bring it there. Like I said, I quite like the torn piece, so I don't mind that it looks a little bit torn. Now that just hides that paper clip a little bit. And then this little piece, why not? You can go there. And then, yeah, you can do some stamping, decorating, whatever you want to do. Like I said, I punched the corners on mine. If you are going to punch the corners, you obviously have to then bear in mind your pad on the inside, because once you punch the corners, you're going to punch in here as well. So you may want to punch the corners first so you can measure out your pad to go inside them. So that's obviously up to you if you decide to do that. But then, like I say, oh, you've got your little pocket at the back. Let's grab a piece of this scrappy paper that we've got here that we just tore off the end. So this is where you can slide this in the back, any of your leftovers. And there you go. You have some extra journaling space that also goes into your journal and is paper clipped in. Okay, so let's see how this looks in a journal then. So I'll try and find a blank page. This one will do. So this just clips onto the back. Then obviously I've got my scrappy pieces of paper in the back. I've now got my paper pad here and a little pull out section here. And then that all closes. And the nice thing about this is it is relatively flat, so it doesn't add too much bulk to your journal. Obviously when the book's closed, it kind of keeps everything closed itself. So yeah, I think a kind of great altered paper clip that adds that little bit of extra journaling space if needed. Well, I really hope that you found this tutorial useful. I personally really love having these in my journal, just to add that little bit of extra space. If you did enjoy the video, then please give it a thumbs up. If you are not already a subscriber, but you would like to find out about more crafty videos, then please hit the subscribe button and the bell. You can also find me on social media. Those links will be in the description below. As always, thank you so much to everybody watching and supporting my channel. it just means absolutely everything. I cannot believe how many subscribers I have at the moment. I'm, yeah, crawling towards 900, which is just unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. But yeah, so thank you to everybody that is supporting the channel. I hope you all have a wonderful crafty day. Thank you so much. Bye bye.